Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about media as political actor. Remember, in the almond light bulb, media play important part as the sixth actor number six, which then accumulate information on the whole process and then provide the information as output for the citizen, and then that output then become input for the next cycle of political system. Now, before we delve into what is the role of media and how the development of media informational technology that also affect our political activities, let's take a look on the development of media itself. First, media has a long history since pre-industrial age, and then during the industrial age, and then electronic age, and then we have what we call as new or information age. During the pre-industrial age, we have media such as cave painting, stone tablets, papyrus, and so on. This medium, we call them as ancient or classical media, because this medium provide us with information, allow people on that time to exchange information and to disseminate information, but they have their own limitation. Like cave painting, yeah, in the cave people paint, and then the painting tells stories about how people live during that period. Or the stone tablets, stone tablets from clay usually, and then people like put their stories there, and then the tablets then distributed or kept in the library. And then we have papyrus, the old paper made from skin of animal, also parts of tree, and so on and so forth. And these all are limited in number because it's very hard to reproduce. It's very hard to remake such media. So the number of media is limited by the people capability to reproduce it. Therefore, during the industrial age, we have a very good development on media side, because the technology allow us to reproduce media in many form and in faster frequency compared to the pre-industrial age. We have telegraph and telephones. Yeah? This allow us to send audio information through large distance, and then we have print books, pamphlets, and these are very much thanks to the development of printing press. It is revolutionized the way that we produce and consume media, because before the development of printing press, we have a very limited amount of books, because if you want to copy books, you have to copy it by one word by one word. You have to rewrite it letter by letter. With the development of printing press, you can just do once and then put the plate, and then you can keep on printing it many times. As long as you still have the plates and you have the paper, you can print it. Yeah, so the development of printing media allow us to produce more books and distribute the books to more people, so it can reach people on an even greater scale compared to the pre-industrial age. And then we also have photos and motion pictures. Yeah, the ability to capture moment in a visual form, such as photos and motion pictures, were something miraculous. Like even the old people thought that capturing photos and motion pictures were part of the devil's work, and people who got photographed, they were like their soul was captured into the photos, because yeah, well, that's something unbelievable before. And then we goes on to the electronic age with the development of radio, television, and computer, which allow the development of further advanced form of media. And then during the information age, yeah, with the development of personal computer, mobile phone, and internet, we have the development of media as well. So if you look, yeah, we have what we call as print media during the industrial age, and then we have what we call as electronic media during the electronic age, and then these two, both print and electronic media, now develop into a digitalized media. And then also with the development of mobile phone and internet, we have what we call as new media and social media as well, that play important part as part of our media. So the first print media is like newspaper, books, pamphlets, things that you already know. Yeah. For the example, in Indonesia, we have Kompas, Republika, Jakarta Post, Tempo, and so on. And then we have electronic media in the form like television station and radio station, and these two have lots of audience. But then with the advent of digitalized media, we can see that both print and electronic media transform their form into the digitalized form. Like Kompas, now Kompas have kompas.com, for example. And then like BBC, now we have bbc.co.uk. CNN, we have cnn.com. So both print and electronic media now transform themselves into digitalized media. Nowadays, people use internet and get information more from digitalized media compared to the time they read print media or the time they watch or listen to electronic media. So digitalized media now is the main form of media. And then we have what we call as new media, like Mata Najwa, Deddy Corbuzier, Uyghur Congress, and so on. Media is the media that is produced by other non-company media. So it's like Mata Najwa. Mata Najwa is produced by an individual, yeah, journalist, and then she produced her own show like that. Like Deddy Corbuzier also produced by one entertainer, yeah, public figures, and then he invite people to his talk show, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then we have also social media, yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, and so on and so forth. Those are media that the main function was for people to connect with one another, to share their memories, to share their news with family and friends. However, they apparently also play important part in our political world, because people then also share information about politics, about political actors, and so on to this social media. Yeah. So now we have at the very least 5 types of media, from printed to social media, and each have their own role in our political life. What is the supposedly role of media or press? Yeah. Media play important part as the fourth pillar of democracy. The first pillar is executive, the second legislative, the fourth is judicative, and the third is judicative, the fourth is media as the pillar of democracy. So the media play important part because the media ensure transparency in each other sectors. Yeah, in the first sector, the second sector, the third sector, media play important part as actors which then explain what is happening during the government meetings, during the legislative assemblies, during the judiciary court cases, and so on. Now, with the advent of digitalized media, we have what we call as democracy 4.0. Yeah, democracy 4.0 relies on the development of digitalized media as the place for people to meet and then to connect with one another. Therefore, we have what we call as the first wave of democracy 4.0, that social media and the digitalized media play important part as a virtual public sphere where people can gather and then they can gain and exchange information about what is happening on the political world, and then they can express their opinion on the political situation. And then beyond that, we have what we call as network of citizen activists. For the example, when we have eruption of Mount Meru in Indonesia, and then people seeing how severe the eruption was, and then the plight of the victims of the eruption, then people started to connect with one another, and then they try to raise funds to help the victim of the eruption. This is what we call as network of citizen activists. The development of digital media and social media allow ordinary people like you, me, to gather and then to campaign, to perform a campaign on something that we think it's important. So it's no longer limited to people who have real world connection, but people with social media connection or digital connection can also perform the same. In Indonesia, we have platform like Kita Bisa, for example. In internationally speaking, we have platform like Patreon or like change.org. These platforms allow people to gather and to campaign for a cause that they deem worth. Yeah, the cause that they deem worthy. Okay, so this is what happened when we consume information. Yeah, there is new information, and then the media system invite expert officials and sources, and then the media provide the repackaged information and then spread it to their station, and then this repackaged information is received by the public sphere and then cognition by individuals. However, with the advent of digital and new media, we are no longer going through this way. Yeah, as soon as there is a new information, for the example, like a traffic accident, yeah, someone uploaded to the Facebook and lots of people sharing it. Yeah, someone uploaded to the Twitter and become like hit tweet like that. It goes straight to the individual, and this will become input that the individual consume. In one way, this is fast because we are no longer require waiting time. Yeah, we don't have to wait for the expert and so on and so forth. However, this also bring negative effect because without any expert opinion, everyone can be an expert, but at the same time, no one is an expert of that. Okay, so this is the condition with our contemporary media, that there is no barrier to entry, but at the same time, everyone can be expert without any expertise. So we come to a condition where, yeah, democracy 4.0 provide us with a huge access through digital media and then new media and also social media, which allow us to perform various activities through virtual public sphere and also connect with other people and then together work in a worthy cause. But digital 4.0 also provide us with the corruption of information, yeah, through misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Okay, so misinformation is how false information is shared, but no harm is meant. Like earlier, when we were at the early period of COVID-19 pandemic, we have misinformation that COVID-19 can be is curable using, like, for example, onion or garlic or something like that. It was false information, but no harm was intended. Yeah. We also have what we call as disinformation. Like, this is like false information that is knowingly shared to cause harm, like hoax, for example, and like various other false information. For example, during the time USA election between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, there were lots and lots of disinformation shared by people against Hillary Clinton, saying that Hillary Clinton did this, Hillary Clinton did that, and those were fake information. So that was like the first time in the USA election history that people were swamped in disinformation. Okay, and the last one is malinformation. That is true information, but it is shared to cause harm, like doxing, for example, like spreading private information online in order to harass or to bully individuals. That's malinformation. So while the presence of democracy 4.0 provide us with benefits that help our democracy, yeah, that help the flow of information during the political process in almond light bulb. At the same time, yeah, because of the depth of expertise, yeah, because of the lack of expertise, we also have the significant drawbacks of misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Therefore, you need to be aware of this corruption of information, and then you need to be able to look and then um, very carefully evaluate what kind of information that you are consuming from the digital media, new media, and also social media. Okay, with regard to our almond light bulb, yeah, it means that media provide us with information, and then the information is consumed by the people. However, because of the development of technology, the media now provide us with even greater information. The good side of that, it provides us with virtual public sphere where we can hang out and exchange information and then even do good activities, great campaign like helping each other through social campaign. However, at the negative side, you have to be very careful with the information. You have to check and recheck your information. You have to make sure that the information is correct. Otherwise, you will consume corrupted information and you will your political view might be distorted with this corrupted information. Okay, so this is the role of media in politics, and for you who your assignment is to provide case study on media, please do so. And you can look at the positive side, or you can look at the negative side. You can explain on how media provide us with benefits. On the same time, you can also look at how media provide us with disinformation, misinformation, or malinformation. Okay, thank you everyone for joining me with the class today. And I'll see you next week with the agenda is to talk about your uh, plan for your essays. Okay, see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.